Prehistory. The origins of the Minoan civilization trace back to the Neolithic period, around 7000 BCE, when settlers from Anatolia and the Near East arrived on Crete. These early inhabitants brought technologies like farming, animal domestication, and basic pottery, which mixed with local Aegean cultures to create a unique Minoan identity. Crete's strategic location in the eastern Mediterranean enabled these early communities to establish trade networks with neighboring regions. By 3100 BCE, the Minoans transitioned from simple villages to organized societies, marking the start of the early Minoan period. This period saw the development of distinct cultural practices and technological advancements, such as pottery and tools made from obsidian, hinting at their early involvement in trade across the Mediterranean. The rise of the Minoans. During the early Minoan period, the Minoans began to establish themselves as a significant society. Their settlements grew into thriving towns, and by 2000 BCE, they began constructing large, complex buildings, signaling the emergence of centralized authority. The Minoans developed sophisticated agricultural techniques, thriving on the fertile plains of Crete, producing olives, grapes, and grains. Their maritime prowess, aided by Crete's natural harbors, enabled them to dominate Mediterranean trade. The lack of large fortifications suggests a society focused on communal cooperation rather than military conquest. Religion was an essential part of their culture, centered on goddess worship and fertility rituals, deeply connected to Crete's agricultural abundance. This period marked the beginning of their rise as a dominant Bronze Age society. The Golden Age, Neo-Palatial period. The Middle Minoan period saw the construction of monumental palaces at Knossos, Phaistos, Malea, and Zakros, which served as centers of administration, economy, and religion. These palaces were multi-storied, equipped with advanced features like drainage systems and workshops, exemplifying Minoan engineering and architectural prowess. Knossos in particular became the political and cultural hub of the Minoan world. Trade flourished during this period, with Minoan ships traveling across the Mediterranean, transporting goods like olive oil, wine, and pottery to regions such as Egypt, Mesopotamia, and the Levant. In exchange, the Minoans acquired vital resources like tin, copper, gold, and ivory. Art also reached new heights with vibrant frescoes that depicted religious rituals, natural life, and social activities. The Minoans placed great importance on bulls, a symbol of strength, fertility, and the natural cycle of life. Bull leaping, an activity depicted in Minoan frescoes, may have held religious or ceremonial significance. The prominence of bulls in Minoan culture and art is thought to have influenced Greek mythology, particularly the myth of Theseus and the Minotaur. The labyrinthine structure of the palace at Knossos, with its complex, maze-like layout, is often linked to the myth's labyrinth, where the Minotaur was said to dwell. The Minotaur, a creature with the body of a man and the head of a bull, likely drew inspiration from Minoan bull imagery. The association between bulls and the labyrinth reinforces the idea that the Minoans' reverence for bulls, through rituals like bull leaping, had a deep cultural and religious significance, likely tied to fertility and power. This era also saw the development of Linear A, an undeciphered script, which suggests a highly organized administrative system. The fall of the Minoans. The Minoan civilization began its decline around 1450 BCE, after a catastrophic volcanic eruption on the island of Thera, modern-day Santorini. The cataclysmic eruption of Thera split the island into three smaller ones, the largest of which, Santorini, forms a crescent surrounding a large caldera. The eruption caused tsunamis and ash fallout, devastating coastal settlements, including some on Crete. Though some cities were preserved due to volcanic ash, like the site of Akrotiri on Thera, the eruption significantly weakened the Minoans' power. The eruption disrupted agriculture and trade, which had been central to Minoan prosperity. However, unlike Pompeii, it is believed the Minoans had heeded prior warnings and fled, as no human remains were recovered. The decline of the Minoans was further compounded by external threats. The Mycenaeans, a Greek-speaking people from the mainland, began to invade and gradually took control of Crete. By 1450 BCE, most Minoan palaces were destroyed, with Knossos remaining the last major center until its final destruction around 1370 BCE. The Mycenaeans adapted aspects of Minoan culture, but the original Minoan civilization faded. Internal factors such as soil depletion and deforestation, along with rising competition from other powers, further contributed to their fall. By 1100 BCE, the Minoan civilization had vanished, absorbed into the broader Greek cultural sphere. Despite their decline, the Minoans left a lasting legacy, particularly in art, architecture, and maritime trade. Their emphasis on trade over military conquest and their relatively peaceful society set them apart from many other ancient civilizations. The Minoans influenced the rise of Greek culture, and their advanced urban planning, engineering, and artistic achievements continue to captivate historians and archaeologists today. Want a deeper understanding? Visit the blog for this week's post using the link in the bio.
Spartans! What is your profession?